I refused to translate for my wife because she won't put any effort into learning sign language. Now she's mad because she wants to know the gossip. I've been signing for as long as I can remember because my father is deaf. I love signing and I love learning new languages, so I picked up signing early on, at least a bit faster than my siblings. My wife is hearing and has never put much effort into learning ASL beyond a few basic signs. This has never bothered me because ultimately, it is her choice whether she wants to or not, but it does make it difficult when we visit my family, which is often. I basically have to play translator if she and my dad want to have a conversation, but I do it to facilitate a bond between them. About 2 months ago, I learned of an opportunity at a local college where volunteer native speakers could converse with the students in the advanced ASL courses for a month. I'm very passionate about people learning ASL, so I jumped at the chance to help out. One of the other volunteers there was a non-verbal man, Alex, who I found an easy camaraderie with. We began hanging out, and during the time we would spend at my place, I wouldn't translate even if my wife was in the room, other than their introductions and small talk, because Alex never requested I do so. After a few weeks of this, my wife brought it up that this was bothering her. She said she felt left out and like Alex and I were keeping secrets. I politely apologized and went on to have a discussion with Alex about this whole thing. Well, he said he felt it was rude that my wife never even so much as made an effort to learn ASL, especially since my father is deaf, so he had no interest in conversing with her. Honestly, I kind of agreed with him. It didn't rub me the wrong way at first, but now that she's complaining about being left out despite having years to learn at least some of this new language feels silly to me. I let my wife know this and told her I would still translate for my dad, but things were staying the same with Alex. She got mad that I was taking his side and letting him disrespect her, but I said those were his wishes and I had to abide by them because we had personal conversations. I think I did the right thing, but she's not speaking to me now, so am I the a-hole? Update: I sat down and had a conversation with my wife about my changing point of view on her ASL abilities. I said I made a mistake by coming at her with resentment and hostility instead of taking the time to explain my thoughts. I expressed that I was hurt over her complaints because people like Alex and my dad have to go through life being unable to communicate. What she experienced isn't even a fraction of what they do. I reminded her that she has had a deaf father-in-law for years and plenty of opportunities to learn, but she hasn't taken them. I reminded her that it's been a dream of mine to adopt a deaf/ho child sometime in the future because I thought it was another reason why learning ASL could be beneficial. Even if that dream doesn't end up coming to fruition, there will still be people in our lives who communicate through ASL. My wife said she understood and that she would make time to do so, even if it was just a daily sign from me or a quick YouTube video lesson. I thanked her and we moved on. During the week following this conversation, I saw no effort on her part despite what she had said. I brought it up to her once a few days later, then again at the end of the week, and I was continually brushed off with what essentially boiled down to, "I'm busy, I'll get to it later." This was disheartening. I went to my parents' home alone last weekend and vented to them about what was going on. My dad shared with me a story, one I had heard many times before, about how quickly my mom started learning ASL after the two of them met. He hadn't asked her to, and it took some time before they were able to have a proper conversation that way, but what had mattered was the effort. Not just passively, like my wife picking up a few basic signs over the years, but real actively trying to learn effort. My mom suggested I give her a little more time, but that if this is something that means a lot to me then I need to stand up for that. In the almost 2 weeks since the conversation with my wife, I've hung out with Alex many times and we did our monthly volunteer work at the local college. Being immersed in that culture feels invaluable to me. The juxtaposition between the appreciation for this beautiful language versus the scrapbooking and pottery classes my wife is in. It's been hard for me to accept that that's where she would rather spend her time despite what we talked about. I don't expect her to drop her hobbies, but she promised me she would try. When I admitted this to her, it caused a big argument. She said she didn't like how entitled I felt that I wanted her to drop everything just to learn ASL. Again, that's not the case. I said it would be appreciated and my mom did it for my dad, so I didn't understand why she couldn't either. It's just her trying to take the easy way out by having me translate all of their conversations. She said it's worked before and I never complained about it until Alex brought it up. She claimed he was turning me against her and trying to ruin our marriage, but I told her that wasn't happening. She didn't like how I was defending Alex, so she left the house that night and is currently staying elsewhere. This whole situation hurts me a lot because she obviously knew about my upbringing and the importance of ASL to me, but there was never an expectation that she learn it. Her complaining and me getting further involved in the community plus creating a new support system has started changing my opinion on things. Effort really does go a long way in showing someone how much you care. My dad met Alex a few weeks ago and he was overjoyed to meet a friend of mine who he could converse with properly. But he's also been happy in the past when my friends wanted to learn it all. That's really all I wanted from my wife, but she thinks I was asking too much of her.